Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Today we will talk about the notion of operators. In C# there are different types of operators. The arithmetic operators, the comparison operators, the assignment operators, the logical operators, and the binary operators. We'll talk about it later on because it is an advanced notion. First of all, we will talk about arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used in mathematics. We have the plus sign to add that we have seen in previous videos, the minus sign to subtract, the multiplication, the division, and finally here a modulo. An operator that is probably new to you. It will allow you to recover the remainder of a division quite simply. Then we have in the category of arithmetic operators increment plus plus and decrement minus minus operators. That will allow you to increase and decrease the value of a variable by 1. It's basically a shortcut to a is equal to a plus 1 or a is equal to a minus 1, as you can see in the example right here. Now let's move on the comparison operators. The double equals will allow us to carry out an equality test between two variables. In a previous video, we've seen that a simple equal sign allowed us to assign a value to a variable. In C#, in order to find this notion of equality, we need to put two equals. In this example, we are comparing if the variable a is equal to the variable b. Then below, the exclamation mark equal is the opposite. This operator will allow us to carry out an equality test. As you can see in this example, we are testing if a is different from b. Then we have the decrement operator that will compare if a is strictly greater than b. Here, if a is greater than or equal to b, since we have an equal sign in addition to the decreasing sign, we will lose the condition of strictly greater and give another possibility to our program to compare if it is greater or equal. Then we have the opposite. The increment operator that will compare if a is strictly smaller than b, and finally it's the same as here, but here the incrementing operator will check if a is smaller than or equal to b. Let's move on to the assignment operator. As you already know, the equal sign allows us to assign a value to a variable. Then for the rest of the table, these are all shortcuts to what you can see in this column. When you write this way in your program, it's the same as writing this way. And finally, the logical operators. These operators will often be used when we insert conditions into our program. Let's take a recipe to illustrate this notion. The double ampersand translated as AND will allow us to add a condition in addition to our first basic condition. Let's imagine our condition is the following. If the preparation is ready, then put it in the oven. Thanks to the ampersand, we can add another condition in addition to the one we have given here that will indicate if the preparation is ready, and if the oven is at 180 degrees, then put it in the oven. Moreover, these two conditions must be fulfilled for our instructions to be executed. We will discuss these things in detail when we come to the notions of conditions. To continue, the where operator is represented by two pipes, which will allow us to have at least one of the conditions fulfilled in order to be able to execute the instruction. So if the preparation is ready or if the oven is at 180 degrees, we can put it in the oven. It is no longer necessary to have the two conditions fulfilled to be able to execute the instruction. Only one will be enough. And finally, we have the NOT operator, represented by an exclamation mark, which allows us to have the opposite of a condition. Let's take our condition that if the oven is at 180 degrees, and then put an exclamation mark before this sentence. Then we'll get the opposite of our basic condition, which will indicate here if the oven is now at 180 degrees, then put it in the oven. That is all for the operators. We will see in detail these operators as we go along in our course. We'll practice on them. I hope that